Am I live? Hi. Hi, everybody. Wait, I can't see you. Mm, am I live? Is the question. Okay, let me see. I can't see your chat. Oh, there you are. I found you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Leah. Hi, Darren, Carmi, Carol, Eliz, Lindsay, Cindy, and Mary, Halina, TLT, Celeste, the Bio Explorer. Yes, I am. I'm still getting used to this new streaming platform that I'm using. So I am supposed to be. So Celeste is actually on Twitch. Here. She's on Twitch. That's how I see like that small logo that tells me where you are watching from. Okay. Rachel, Arlene, T Style, Personal Space is also on Twitch. See that? And then this is how it looks like when it is YouTube. The Bio Explorer. Hello. So cool, right? Cool for me. But I don't think YouTube people, if you're viewing me from YouTube, I don't think you actually see what other people from other platforms are saying. Okay. Darren, JJ, Raynette, KT Dreams, J Cal, Happy Stans, Erica, Leah, Crystal, Sheila, Bedon, PZ. There's a lot of new names. Are you able to join because I'm doing it earlier? Or hi, or you used to be here? I just am not seeing you, or you're not saying hello. The Moral, Baylin, Desha, Elaine, EJM, Layla, Halina, Bellatrix, Debbie, Desha. Some okay, I'll go to oh, Berylene said she'll go to Twitch. She's not frozen on YouTube. I'm not frozen on YouTube. The timing difference between YouTube and Twitch. Which one's delayed? Hi, Aubrey, Layla, Warren. Hello. Which one's more delayed? Uh, Hi Harlow. Earlier helps me. Oh, it helps you. I'm trying to work my way into 7 to 7 p.m. So if you would remember, I started like 9, and then but like 8:38. Now I'm at 7:30. So I'm trying to make my way to 7 p.m. because just I mean I think for 7 p.m. would be okay for the West Coast, and then better for the East Coast because that would mean it's about 10 there on that side of the world. YouTube is behind Twitch. Did the camera angle change? No. Maybe the I don't know. No, I don't think it changed. I'm always here. J Cal said, I'm always here, but more of a silent watcher. Well, I'm happy that you're talking to us now. Um, please continue communicating with us. Madeline, Jean, Bangluna. No, you're just in time. I'm just saying hi to everybody. Fire Butterfly, Janet, Erica, Rachel. YouTube is on the East Coast is 10:35. Yeah, so I'm trying to work my way into 7 p.m. So I think that's like for most Western people, West Coast. For most that are on the West Coast, we're done by with dinner at that time. So maybe like a good closing of your day would be me. And then also like still acceptable for at least not acceptable, but possible for East Coast because that would mean it's about 10 o'clock. The camera is flipped. Really? Huh. I don't know how to flip it though. There. Flipped sounds right. How about that? Is that not flipped anymore? Yeah, I will do it. I will do the 7 p.m. This works a lot better for the native New Yorker. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. So the only thing that's keeping me from actually getting there is during the biggest hurdle that I will Pine Top GMA. Oh, we have somebody from X Jarkeo. Ah. I'm so happy that I'm finally able to stream on different platforms. Um, Flip is strange. It's back to normal. Okay, so I found how to flip it. So apparently the default is to actually have it's flipped. So all right. Okay, so everyone has your ticket ready for J Hope. Also, it's his birthday, or was his birthday. So I hope you celebrated one way or another. A friend of mine who still is a diehard fan of Shina. She's an OG K-pop fan. Her bias is Minwoo. And every birthday of Minwoo, she would celebrate it with us. She still does it. All these years, she still does it. Is the chat all the same? It is the same, yeah. So here, it's in one panel and it all looks the same for me. The only way I know you are from another platform is the logo on your name. Like this one, see that it says like that's the logo of Twitch. So I know she's from Twitch. And then for YouTube, it's his birthday today, Disha said. You see that that's a YouTube. So I know where you're coming from based on that logo. Happy birthday, Hobie. If it brings her joy, more power to her. Uh okay. Sugar D from Twitch is here so that everyone else can actually see it. So, okay, so we have a lot to talk about today. But first, I wanted to share with everybody that Jimin is very close to tying the record of Psy for the longest charting song in Billboard Hot 100. And he is he's gonna be, I think, 40th on the 29th week. Now we kind of need to push him up a little, not a little, a lot, if we want him to tie the record. So I would encourage everybody. I actually tweeted about this. You can subscribe to a second or a third streaming platform if you just sign up and not spend for it. Just sign up for their test. So, for example, for Title, they have a 30-day test so that you know I'm practicing what I preach. So here, so that's Title. That's Title. So 30 days free, and then after this, I'm gonna try Napster. Just on the 29th day, I'll unsubscribe to Title and then try Napster. I think they have a 3-month trial. So the good thing is that when you do a trial, it is considered, because Tidal is subscription only, there is no free. So, but even if you do a trial, it is considered premium streams. And that is really what we need. If we go premium, Jimin is actually gonna go, his streaming stat is going to be higher than most others that are on the top 20. So if we can just get there, please. Yes, Napster is still around, and they do have, I think it's a 30-day, no, I think it's either a 1 month or 3-month trial. I already have a paid subscription on Amazon and on Apple Music. So I actually did a trial on Amazon 3 months. So if you don't have Amazon Music, you can do a 3-month trial for Amazon. And then, of course, you can also do Apple Music. So, but for all the others, try their free test, the free trial. Use it on your second or third device. This phone is actually what I use for my business. And it basically is just streaming the entire day. I would rest it for like 2 hours and then do it all over again. And I plan to do it for one more month. So just to help the stream, because we really are bad at premium streams. And it's the only thing that's carrying Jimin. Okay, so if you can do that, please. Do we have any more playlists to share for him? So if you are a member of my Patreon, so Celeste is actually asking if we have any more playlist that has him as a center. So if you go to Patreon, um, you go to Patreon and then you go to collections. In the useful resources, we have a list of all the playlists, not all, but most playlists of the members of our Patreon community. And then you can just pick which one you like. So I'm kind of confident about those playlists because the people who own those playlists have been with our community for a really long time. So I know that that's not going to change or anything. So please. It's also good if you can cycle through different playlists. Like for Title, because I don't know a lot of people who are on Title, I actually had to create my own playlist and it's like 8 hours. So now I need to create another one so I can at least cycle through different playlists. Okay. Sylvia is asking, does Amazon Music come with Prime or is that separate? It's separate. You have to pay for it separately. Okay. Apple Music and 5 Spotify Premium. Wow. You have 5 Spotify Premium. So yeah. So please do that so that we can continue uh charting BTS's Jimin's Who. So he is 2 weeks away from tying the record, 3 weeks away from tying the record of Psy, and then 3 weeks away from tying the record of his own group. Now, a lot of people, I get a lot of hate on Twitter whenever I tweet about Who, because they feel like a lot of these haters keep on saying that I shouldn't have to tweet about it anymore because the song came out 6 months ago. So it doesn't make sense to me. Um, I don't, number one, I want, as much as possible, I want a member of BTS to always be present inside Billboard Hot 100. And right now it is Jimin. So my tendency is to support Jimin. And then I am not worried about about Jimin overtaking the record of BTS. I am not worried about that at all because BTS is about to make their comebacks and their comeback and they are going to shatter every record. And then BTS members are going to go on their solo activities and they will in turn shatter the record of BTS, of the group BTS. And then when BTS comes back, they're going to shatter the record of their individual members again. It's just going to be a cycle. And for as long as it is the members and the group vying for number one, I do not care. So I'm not worried about that at all. Okay. All right. Okay, so do you have any questions about streaming? The other thing, I also often say that if you know of any individual member bias account and they're offering to pay for premium accounts, I say for as long as that account or that person does not say anything bad about the other members and the group itself, then go ahead and avail. I don't mind fans who have a bias. They prefer a specific member. It's bound to happen. As I've mentioned before, I think as BTS members pursue their individual activities, it is but natural for them to have different fan bases. The only thing that I don't like is if the fan tries to say something bad about, or not tries, but say if that fan actually says something bad about the other members. But if all they do is quietly support their favorite member, I'm okay with that. So I think that it's also helpful if you find any fan base that is offering a paid streaming account. Go for it. The thing about those is that they will actually give you the account that you will load in your phone, and you have to play a specific playlist. So if you don't play the playlists that they give you, they're going to suspend that. They're going to change the, the password, so you won't be able to use it anymore. Which I feel is okay if that is your second or third device, and then you have your your main device that you own, and you get to stream whatever you want on the device that you own. But for those accounts that are supporting individual members, it is natural for them to just want you to support one member, the member that they are supporting. And again, for as long as they're not saying bad about other members, I'm good with them. Okay. Um, Celeste said a lot of people come to appreciate BTS because they found one of them. They may or may not like BTS as much, but it gives them an opening to them. Yeah, but I agree. And as again, for me, for as long as they're not saying anything bad, if they're not, for as long as they're quiet about the, at the very least, quiet about other group members, I'm okay with them too. All right. Best viewers on streambo.com. Remove the space. I don't know what that is, but he's saying it. Okay. Um, Bora Winkle. Hi, Dawn. Amy. I'm a little late joining today. It's fine. I was just discussing that I'm trying to work my way into 7 p.m. because I feel that's a good time for the West Coast, and then still a little acceptable for the East Coast. So the third one should be Amazon, Napster, or Tidal. T. Which one of the three is better? Okay, so Marielle is asking which one of the three is better. For me, Amazon would be is the one I prefer. So I only have two. The one I mean that I regularly use, which is Apple and Amazon Music. And then now I decided I'm gonna go do free trials on all the others to help in the premium stream. And Tidal is actually good. I mean, I it's easy to use. I was able to figure it out in less than 2 minutes. So, but for me, my two preferred, Apple Music and Amazon Music, primarily because those two pay higher. Napster is the one that pays the highest. I also use Deezer. So Deezer is also a good one, but I think they have a free. First also just do premium. It should be good. And then Bang Luna said she's using YouTube Music on her phone. Yeah, so that I will also try YouTube Music. So I'm just gonna go through all the free trials one by one, and I'm gonna like just to help in the charting, and then on my main phone, that's where I use Apple Music, and then on my iPad is where I use Amazon Music. Sugar D said she's using Spotify. Um, the Bio Explorer said, I did not realize Melon pays so poorly and is cacao. Yeah, they do. Um, Spotify also pays poor, and YouTube Music, But I mean, I'm just going to use those because they're, as I've said, I'm just going to go cycle through the other platforms. I also have YouTube Music, but I don't use it as much. You have to use it. Leah said, I'm in New Zealand. You started 4:30 p.m. my time today. Oh, great. So at least if I do 7, that'll be 4. Okay. Sylvia said, Jimin got jams now. Okay. So Sun said, yes, you can use Apple on any Samsung device. Leia is saying hi to the Bio Explorer. Okay, so we have a lot to go through. Um, let's see here. So, something, BTS chart, which is an account on X, posted this that Beyond Music purchased the copyright for our Butter in a deal made in collaboration with Stephen Kirk, credited for songwriting. And the CEO of Beyond Music, CEO Cho Jinwoo, said that securing the copyright for Butter, the representative song of K-pop's top artist BTS, is an important milestone in globalizing Beyond Music's music IP investment and value up strategy. The only thing that I don't agree in this entire thing is that I'm a dynamite girl. I actually like dynamite more than butter. Your I'm so tiny. I think I can make it bigger. Huh. This streaming platform is so fancy. I can actually also like do that, but it won't be optimal. So that how's that? So yeah, so they posted this going back. So I actually really prefer butter um over sorry, I prefer dynamite over butter. But oh, thank you, Elaine. I'm just one person, but I'm in Florida, and this time works perfect for me. Thank you. Also, I have Spotify and YouTube Music. Okay, so that's good. PTD. Leia said she prefers PTD. So for you guys, which one do you like of their English songs? Which one is your favorite? Celeste said PTD. Neither the Bio Explorer said neither are my favorites, but still support them. Um, but if you are asked to choose, which one do you like? I really like Permission to Dance. T Style, however, likes Dynamite. um, Madeline said, uh, too fast. Disha said, unpopular opinion, I like butter more than Dynamite. Oh, a lot of PTD. Mav, Dynamite. One Hot Sean, Dynamite. I'm so entertained now that I can actually easily flash your comment on the screen. Okay, Sylvia, she's on Twitch. It's Dynamite. Cindy doesn't want to choose. All that. Okay, so I'm a Dynamite person, and that's what I like more. Um, but I like them all, of course. I really love them all. It's just that I like Dynamite more. Okay, so um, they bought the rights to Butter. Now they got that news from the website of Beyond Music itself. So if you go to their website, you can actually just scroll up and you will see that. So it says from our establishment in 2021 to securing the copyright of BTS's Butter in 2024, we have successfully acquired over 100 major music IPs worldwide. And here are some of the songs that they acquired the publishing rights to: One and Only by Adele, Garden by Dua Lipa, um, Kim Kim Yon Kim Yok Kim Yok Son Kim Yok Sok Kim Yok Sok. Okay, I don't want to read that. It's, okay, let's try. Lee Sung Jul, Lee Sung Jul, BTS's Butter. So they acquired a lot of IPs. All right. So the question now is, what are they doing with it? Okay. Um, Now that but before that, the previous owners are actually the songwriters and the management or the music labels that the music writers are under contract. So, for example, you have Jenna Andrews. Alex Bile, Sebastian Garcia, Robert Grimaldi. Stephen Kirk is the one who helped in facilitating the purchasing of the publishing right. Ron Perry, and of course, Namjoon Kim. You should know that guy. He's a really good writer. So they are the previous publishing rights owner and their management or music labels. Okay, so Beyond Music bought it from these people. So, question of Celeste, do they continue to get paid? Yes. So this does not impact BTS at all in any significant way. Beyond Music is not owned by Hybe, however. So the way that they're getting paid continues. So of all the members get the payment as performers. So and then RM gets an additional because he co-wrote it. And then Big Hit gets a cut because they own the mechanical rights of the song together with BTS. And then all the other songwriters and their respective um, music labels. Okay. All right. You like that feature? Being able to flash the comments? Yeah, me too. I like that too. Okay. So now that they bought it, just to clarify before that, now just to clarify that Beyond Music owns the publishing rights to BTS's Butter. They have control over how the song's composition is used, licensed, and monetized. However, this does not mean they own the master recording, which means that remains under Hybe or Big Hit. So essentially, you have the publishing rights and then you have the mechanical rights. Okay, so those are divided into two. The mechanical rights is the actual material, right? So the master recording, the instruments that were recorded, the voices of BTS, those are mechanical rights. So that is still with Big Hit, Hybe, and BTS members. What was sold was the publishing right, which is the right of the person to distribute and have that monetized. So, how are they going to monetize it? Is the question. First, they can actually license that to TV shows, movies. They call it syncs. So, TV shows, movies, video games, sporting events, even merchandise like shirts or whatever. So, if, for example, a movie wants to use Butter, then the one that gets paid, the publishing rights, half of it goes to Beyond Music. And then half goes to BTS and Hype because they hold the mechanical rights to the song. This part of them selling it to different movies and TV shows and events and gaming and merchandise, that is called sync in the US. Okay. But since they are the ones that are going to earn from it, it is also their responsibility to market it. So now Beyond Music have to go to different TV shows and movies and movie labels, movie companies, production companies, directors, music directors to try and market the song for it to be used on any platform. Okay. Next. Sorry. They can also collect royalties now. So anytime a song is being played on streaming, if we buy copies physically, the royalty now goes to Beyond Music. Okay. So right now, some of the most popular streaming platforms, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, if any of this streams Butter, the one that gets paid the publishing rights, that is Beyond Music, and BTS and Big Hit continues to get the mechanical rights. So Sylvia is asking, is this a way for Big Hit and BTS to make more revenue of the song? One thing is for sure, since Beyond Music bought the publishing rights, they need to make their money back. right? Because these deals are not cheap. This is common, by the way. It's very, very common in Hollywood, in the international music industry, for another company to buy the license of an album or an entire catalog. So it's very, very common. But since now they have vested interest here, then it is now their responsibility to try and look for more opportunities to make money out of butter, because they need to recuperate their money. So it's kind of, for everybody involved, it's kind of a win-win. For those who had the publishing rights before, they've already made money, right? Because of the streaming, the initial success and whatever, they already made money. Then when Beyond Music purchased it, they got more money because they got paid. So the money that they would have made in over like 5 years, they probably made in that one deal. Okay. So at the end of the day, BTS and Big Hit or Hybe are actually the big winners, because they did not lose their rights. It now got transferred to another company who will work their butt off to try and look for opportunities to monetize that music. Okay. Um Here, Robin is asking, so BTS can still perform it, correct? Whenever they want, whenever they want. They can still perform it. They can cover it. They can do different versions of it. Whatever happens. Now, if, for example, somebody approaches Hybe or Big Hit or any of the members and say, hey, I'd like to feature that song, and I'd like to use that as this is just an example. There's going to be a reboot of Friends, the show, and we want Butter to be the OST. This is just an example. Then Hybe will now have to go to Beyond Music and tell them, hey, somebody called me up. They want to use the song as a soundtrack for their TV show. Now it will have to be Beyond Music that will negotiate the rates, get paid, and then distribute that payment to everybody involved, specifically to BTS and Big Hit and Hybe. Okay, another question. Did they pay a lump sum to acquire this? Yes, they did. They paid a lump sum to acquire this. So that's why I'm saying, if you're, for example, for Jenna Andrews, one of the songwriters in there, she's already made her initial income from it, right? From the streaming, the sales in the first 2 years, first 3 years. So it's slowing down. So probably, let's just say, this is just an example. In the next 5 years, she's going to make what, $100,000. Let's just say, just an example. And this deal, when they get approached, then everything is going to be computed, and Jenna can say, well, my estimate is that in the next 5 years, I'm going to make $100,000. So if you're going to hold the publishing rights for 10 years, you'd better pay me at least half of that. So then she got paid a lump sum. Okay. So is that good? Yes. So it's good for BTS. It's good for Hybe. They didn't lose anything. Again, but at least the rights to the song, publishing rights to the song, got transferred to somebody who will now work their butt off to try and look for opportunities to further monetize the song. Fairy Lane, and thus their performance materials such as choreography remain with BTS. Yes. Now, do remember that an entire routine you can copyright, but not specific dance steps to a song. And I've discussed that before. I can discuss it again if you want. But yes, that choreography remains theirs. Okay. So just to continue, so that's one way of monetizing it. They can also just resell the catalog, the song. So for example, if what like another investor, for example, this is just an example. John Smith approaches Beyond Music and says, okay, how much did you pay for this license? And Beyond Music, this is just an example, and Beyond Music says, I paid 10 million. So then John Smith can say, okay, I'm going to pay you 10.5. I want the song. Give me the publishing rights of the song. So now it will be up to Beyond Music to whom they will sell it to, if they ever will sell it to somebody else. Okay. Another one is that they can now influence how the song is going to be used for future projects. They don't have any control over BTS. They don't have any control over Hybe or Big Hit. But they could push for more global licensing deals, as I've mentioned, because they need to recuperate their money, and the faster the better. They will now have to push for the song to be used by more TV shows, brands, events, merch, all of those stuff, gaming. So it is going to be a necessity for them to market it further, as opposed to the other publishing rights holders, the composers, whose their main job is really not to market the song. Their main job is to write the song and to create the song, which they did. So basically, their job is done. It's all up to somebody else. But now that someone else has it, they need to recuperate their money, then they will be more motivated to market the song further. They might negotiate better placements in Western media, so it doesn't have any radio spins anymore, but it could motivate them to try and market it to radio stations, and they could control the song's legacy long term. So, how is the song going to be viewed? That will be up to them in the future. So, think of it this way: to this day, people still regard Thriller as probably the one of the, if not the greatest music videos of all time, because it really changed the trajectory of music and music videos altogether. That is not just because the song is great, because there's a lot of music videos and songs that are great, but they don't have that same legacy. They're not getting the recognition because they're not being marketed right. They're not, people don't get reminded of the greatness of the song. It's now going to be up to Beyond Music to make sure that people don't forget the greatness of the song, not just for Korea, but for the entire world. Okay. All right. So, do you have questions before I proceed? There might be a lot here. Let me see. Okay. I'm still getting used to using this. So, let's see. All right. Thank you very much, Elaine. Thank you. You can ask questions. If you do a super thanks, you get priority. I mean, me answering questions. All right, let's see here. You're having fun playing with things now, fairly. Leah said, I'm having fun playing with things. A little. Okay, let's see. Let's look for questions. I'm still getting used to it though. It's still not second nature to me. So, is okay, is BTS able to perform? Is there a way for Big Hit? Okay, Sylvia from Twitch is asking, is there a way for Big Hit and BTS to make more revenue of that song? Yes. So if they can get, sync is usually the biggest, because that's like a one-time kind of payment, and then you get royalties, which isn't not as good as it used to. So it's the initial payment. So if I'm going to guess, the record holder for the biggest payout in a sync would be Jimin, because his song Friends was used by Eternals, the Marvel, Marvel's Eternal. And he was the producer, he was a songwriter, and he was a performer. So, so my guess is that he got the biggest payout. Now, so that's one. Beyond Music can market it so that more TV shows, more movies, events, merch, games will use that song, and they can also encourage more people to try and cover the song. Okay. Let's see. Look for more questions. Bang Luna said, I see a parlay of commercials in Butter's future. Yeah, I think they're going to work very hard to market that song. Sylvia said it's a smart business move. It is, yeah. It's just a very, very smart business move. Son said, I love this. And do remember that these things happen only to songs and to artists that are really popular and established. And of course, with a material that's really good and worth buying into. So remember, if you're going to buy the publishing rights of something, you're going to have to look at the potential of that song. right? If, for example, this is just an example again, if I compose a song that is novelty, like it's just an absolute waste of time, but it sounds fun, people are probably going to listen to it in like a week or 2 weeks or a month. But no one's going to license it because it's useless, because it doesn't mean anything, because I don't have a name that people would want to listen to the song. So you will have, if you're the publisher or if you're buying the publishing rights over a song, you're gonna have to look at the potential of this song. And Butter is one of those songs. It is sung and performed by a group that has a huge fan base. So that in itself is a big thing. And the song itself is addicting. I mean, the melody, the beat, you can like really put it apart. You can take it apart and you can use many elements of that song. Robin Carr, yes, they own the masters. Celeste said, Hybe has a very savvy business people. Raynette said, I listen often. I don't always say hello. Oh, hi, Raynette. I don't watch you on YouTube after the live. I often watch you on YouTube after the live. Love your level headed take on things. Thank you. I hope that now that I'm doing it earlier, you can join us more regularly. Okay, HMM is asking this, doesn't this help BTS to get more exposure to the general public who may not be aware of them by reaching different market segments? Yes. And that is, as again, that is just what they have to do. Beyond Music has to do in order to get their money back. It is absolutely necessary for them to do that, unless they just want to waste their money. I don't think they want to do that, right? So if they want to make their money and then some, they want to make their money back and then some, they're going to have to look for opportunities to further monetize that music, that song. Celeste said this could also open doors for RM and Suga and the others to produce songs for other people as well, right? Show how good they are. Yes, it is a stepping stone, although the main writers of Butter, I think RM's participation is primarily writing of the raps, which is fun. And I think no one could have done it better, by the way. So yes, it's a big participation because I think he wrote all the raps. So he wrote the rap for himself, for Suga, and for J-Hope. So yes, this could open a lot of opportunities for RM. I don't think, although I may be wrong, but I don't think it's credited as producer. I wonder why Hybe did not create a subsidiary that do the work instead of selling it, because it's a lot to build up your specialty, like your expertise. If you want to become an expert in something, it takes a lot to build it up. Now, Hybe is very savvy in just buying businesses that are already established. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they actually buy a share of Beyond Music or another company as an investment. But that is primarily why they don't do it. They don't do things like this right away because it takes time to build your expertise in something. And it's better if you buy an existing business. There's already cash flow, the name is already established, and the opportunities are already there. So your only job will now be to grow what they have already started. So that's why they don't always do it right away. Okay. It's one song, not an entire catalog. Yes, it's one song, not an entire catalog. But if you would remember in the past, somebody actually, was it Michael Jackson? I think it was Michael Jackson who bought the entire catalog of the Beatles, right? So this is a deal that's super common in Hollywood here. It's super common here. Lame Music, hello. Hi. Suga's dance needs to be copyrighted by him. Okay, question. Can Hybe, Big Hit, BTS stop Butter from being used? Politicians of all sorts try and use popular songs. Actually, this is a common misconception. You actually don't need permission to use a song. If it's out there, you don't need to ask the person's permission to use the song. You do need to pay for it when you use it, but you don't need to ask somebody's permission. Now, I think the once you If you ask for permission, then the artist and whoever holds the right to it can say no if you ask for permission. But you don't have to. I think the only thing an artist can do, for example, if it is used by a politician that they don't like, then they can do a CDO, a ceased and desist. Because at the end of the day, they're still going to have to pay for that, right? So they can just not accept the payment and ask the politician to not use that song. That is why a lot of people on YouTube can just cover songs of whoever, because they don't need permission. They can just cover it. It's just that the revenue or the earnings of that song gets divided or sent to whoever owns the copyright of that song. Um, okay. Robin said, it interests me as a dancer that choreography is in such a lesser category, no one purchasing it. The entire routine. It, yeah, it is a little, it has happened. It's not unprecedented. Um, I think it's primarily because for a choreography to be unique, you just need to change several things. So, yeah, because you can't, the fundamental movements of the body, you can't copyright. So, you can change several things and it will be safe from copyright. And the song has to be sung by BTS, or can they change the singers? Yes, it can be covered. So, as I've said, people on YouTube, for example, those who constantly cover songs, they are able to just sing it without having to ask for permission, right? Because that's just how it goes. Like you can cover the entire world and ask people to not sing your song. You can refuse the payment and tell them to stop covering it or using it for whatever purpose. But is BTS the first is BTS the first South Korean music group to sell their song this way? First South Korean music group. Group, probably. Performer, act, no. There's been several songs that they bought from other acts. And also, as you know, Psy's song, the publishing rights actually belong to Scooter Braun, Gangnam Style. It was Scooter Braun who brought it to the US. He was the one who promoted it. He's the reason it went viral, and he owns the song. Okay. See, I'm looking for more questions. Before we go into the next topic, they didn't sell the song, just the publishing rights. Yes, it's just the publishing rights. The song, the mechanical rights of the song still belong to BTS and to Big Hit or Hybe. Soul said, can we say they bought the lyrics and not the BTS song music, voices, and even choreography, as it is all created by Big Hit as BTS? They didn't buy the lyrics. They actually don't own the song. This is so weird. When you talk about how distribution and rights are done, it actually sounds dumb. But okay, so the song is owned by BTS and Big Hit Hype. They own the song. Nobody else owns it. They own the song. What they do not own, what BTS does not own, is the right to sell the song. I know it's kind of weird. So someone else holds the right to monetize the song. Even if, for example, BTS covers their own song, they do another cover, they do another version. The publishing rights owner of the song actually gets a cut because BTS does not own the rights to sell the song. It sounds dumb, I know, but that's just how it is. Yeah, so I hope that kind of makes sense. So it's like I have, is there a real, like a, it's like you're asking somebody else to manage your property. So once you turn over the management of the property, kind of like kind of like a rental, a house. Like if you're renting a house, that house belongs to somebody else, but someone else is living in it. And so they cannot change the house. If that's what's in your contract, they can change the house, but they can live in it and, do whatever. So the same thing is true with that song. Like BTS owns the song, but someone else has the right to monetize it. So they do all the hard marketing work for Butter and Big Hit Hype, and BTS gets a cut of the profit. Correct. Is that the only BTS song with that kind of arrangement? It is the first. Yes, it is the first. All right. Maybe, okay, let's see. Any other question? Who has to make sure it's not used in poor manner? That depends on what you mean, poor manner, but it now becomes the responsibility of Beyond Music. But again, no one has no one has to ask permission to use a song. Actually, again, if you go to YouTube and a lot of people are covering a single song, you think all of those people covering that song will have to ask permission from they you don't have, but the payment goes to the original rights holder of the song. How much is the payout? Usually it's about 50% of your estimated income, um, in the duration of the ownership. So for that, so in some, yes, for example, they estimate this goes through a lot of accounting and whatever, but usually they look at the 10-year potential of a song, and then 50% of that. That's usually how. So for example, if I'm the singer and I have my income statement from this song, um, so they do their statistics and see the trend in the decline of the earnings, um, including licensing and all of that. And then I will estimate, okay, so given the trend of my income, how much am I going to earn in the next 10 years? And then 50% of that is the payout that I get. Could be less. Sylvia said, "Oh wow, I didn't know that Jimin's song was in a movie. I'm not a Marvel fan. It was in The Eternals." So Friends, the one that he has with sorry, not Jungkook, V. So yes, it's in the movie. And he actually got paid more because it wasn't just a part of the OST, not just a part of the album. It was used inside the movie. And I think it was used twice. So it was used inside the movie. It was in a plane, and I think that was the scene. So yeah, so he got paid more because it was used in the movie itself. Is Beyond Music the NGO whose purpose is social change through music? They're not a non-profit organization. They are a for-profit organization. Can someone let Fairly know she's super behind on YouTube chat? Okay. I am behind on YouTube chat. Okay. Okay. So Robin Carr said, confusing, but that helps. So Beyond Music is marketing only. No, they own the publishing rights too. So they own the right to make money out of the music. But the music is owned by BTS and Big Hit. Every time there is a discussion about like the ownership and all of that, you would think that as you discuss it and learn more about it, it kind of makes sense to you. It's the opposite to me when it comes to music. It sounds more and more dumb the way the more I learn about it. um so, is there a way you can read the YouTube chat instead of waiting for the comment pop ups on your screen? It's very delayed on YouTube side. I'm actually the one doing the pop up. Okay. All right. Let's go on into the next topic. Shall we? All right. So I was supposed to discuss 5 topics. I don't think I can go through each of them, but I will try. So I was just doing some analysis on the future trends of the music industry, and one of the I was actually reviewing the Sugar Rush said the monetization from the video of a cover on YouTube will go to the copyright holder because you need to pay a compulsory mechanical license fee when you use the melody or the lyrics. And that is taken care of by YouTube. So once you use the song as a cover or as a background in your video, YouTube automatically knows that that song belongs to this publisher and to this holder, to whoever, and they get paid. Okay, so going back, let me just hide this. So I was going through a report. It was a 2024 report and about the music industry. And one of the major findings is that BTS, well, not just BTS, but the music industry in the West, uh, it's all starting to bank on what they call super fans. So they are building a business model around super fans. And super fans is what they define. Mostly it's modeled after K-pop fans, those that are buying multiple copies of a song or of an album, and they follow the artist wherever they go and all of those stuff. So the Western music industry is headed towards that. In fact, a lot of the artists that they are grooming, they're starting to groom, they are training them to be an artist for the fans. They want their artists to build a super fan base. That's what they want. And I thought, so a lot of the learnings, a lot of the things that they are implementing is actually based on um, BTS, on what BTS did. And one of the things that and as I was going through their strategies, one thing was very wrong for me. Okay, let me make this bigger. Um, they seem to only look at the am I frozen to everybody? One of the things that they are doing is that they're only looking at the let's see here. They're only looking at the strategy of the movement, but they're not looking at the intention behind the things that BTS has done. Okay. So one example would be, for example, they're looking at BTS creating content on their own YouTube channel, but they're not really understanding why BTS is doing that. So they're just asking their artists to start creating more content on YouTube, on different social media, on TikTok, but there is no explanation. If you look at their plan, there is no explanation on why they're doing that. There is no concern on whether or not the artist is even willing to do that. So I felt like, so I was thinking about it, I felt like they don't, BTS, the one wrong thing that they got is the fact that BTS didn't actually build a fan base. BTS built a community. And that is also the same thing that Taylor Swift actually successfully created. She wasn't just a she's not just a singer. She's not just a star. She built herself and her relationship with her fandom to be very, very close. Now, they do it in two different ways. The way that Taylor Swift is doing it is very, very different from how BTS is doing it. But it's a difference in tactic, not in strategy, meaning both have the same goal, and that is to create a close knit community. It's just that Taylor Swift isn't doing live stream, she's not doing extra content. She is doing it by communicating the meaning of her song, by actually doing more conversations during her shows. Okay, so first, let's define the difference between a fan base and a community. A fan base is just a group of supporters focused on the artist. A community is a shared identity with a deeper emotional connection. So think of it like a group of friends, right? So if you're a fan of an artist, you're just a fan and you're just one of the thousands or millions probably of the fan of millions of people who's supporting that artist. But if you are a member of a group of friends, then you have a deeper emotional connection. And that is what BTS actually created. They created a group of people with a deeper connection to them, deeper connection to their message, and a deeper connection to each other. Okay. So, a fan base, they help in streaming and buying albums. They help in attending concerts. They attend concerts and different events. They engage in social media trends and they follow news and updates. So very detached. That's you're a fan. I'm an artist. You don't have any, like, don't expect anything else than my music. That's what I'm selling. That's all you're gonna get. That's basically a fan base. So how do we know that they are a fan base? It's mostly transactional and not a community. It's mostly transactional. Fans consume content but may not deeply engage beyond it. Meaning they don't really talk about the song. They don't try to understand the song. The song doesn't mean a lot to them, except that it is a song that was released that they need to push to become number one in different platforms. And then fans come and go, which is very, very common in K-pop. They are very loyal in the first 5 years. When the group starts becoming older, they go and look for another group. There is hierarchy of engagement. There is a casual listener, and then there's dedicated stands. So you hear this a lot, like, oh, that's GP. This is a fan base. They actually stand the singer. And loyalty is based on the artist's success rather than the shared identity. So what's a good example? Meaning, if the artist continues to become successful, then the fan base remains. The minute the sales start to drop, they release less songs, then the fan base also start leaving. Okay, I will talk more about this as I go through the entire thing. Okay, now let's shift to community. In a community, there is an emotional bond between fans. It's not just the fan to the artist. It's actually fans within fans. So best example will be our Patreon. And my Patreon isn't the only community for armies. There's a lot of communities in Twitter. There's more Patreon communities. There's Telegram and Weaver, of course, Weavers, what is the WeChat chat, something like that. So there's a lot of communities that actually come together, and they're not just there to support their fans. They actually come up there with their own projects. So we hear a lot about armies matching the donation of BTS members. They help in supporting kids, or they help in building a forest or something like that. So it's there's an emotional bond, there's a shared sense of purpose, and it is self-sustaining engagement beyond the artist activities. So we don't just come together when there is a concert or when there is a release. The communication within the community is constant. So the same way we're doing, the kids are actually in the military, but we continue to communicate. We come up with projects. There's the listening party, there's this, there's that. So there is a constant communication, and the fan base itself is creating activities to pull the fandom together. And there is an internal culture, internal values, and traditions itself. So we know that when it comes to BTS, it's not just about music. There is a need to dig deeper into the song. There is a need to understand the placement of a song in the overall Bangtan universe. Okay. Now, how do we know it's a community? When the community members feel emotionally connected to each other. Like, we know we are proud of what what other armies have done, not just for the group, but to themselves and for themselves. We know we celebrate whenever there are armies talking about being able to conquer or become better from their mental health issues because they discovered BTS and they're moving on. Community members are connected through a shared message, virtue, or value. And for BTS, it's about loving yourself, speaking yourself. The fandom also has its own identity, language, and inside jokes. Now, BTS actually went beyond that because they gave us our own logo. We have our own birthday. So we have our own celebration within the community. So Festa is for them, and then there is our birthday. The community remains active even during the artist's hiatus. Now, it does help that they continue to actually release new materials, but that is all a part of it. We continue to come together even when they are not there. So now the question is, how did BTS build a community army and not just a fan base? Okay. Okay, so number one, it's a narrative driven storytelling because there is always something new for us to, something deeper for us to understand. We keep on getting engaged. So we don't leave or we're not done with the song after the release of the song and after the music video. We spend time on it and we spend time on other songs because we want to understand the story. And that plays a huge part because time is the currency of a relationship. That is how you build a stronger relationship, by spending more and more time with something. Okay. Um, Next is direct fan artist interaction. So BTS is the kings of live stream, of tweeting, sharing things that they do or not do, sharing things that they have achieved, they like. How many times has BTS actually used this as encyclopedia or Google? They will ask us questions because they can't find the answer on Google. Things like that. Like they would treat the fandom as a casual friend, someone that they can talk with, not just about music, but about anything else. They let us in on their inside jokes and make it our inside joke instead of just their inside joke. Meaningful engagement beyond music, that's another thing. So it's not just about music, it's not just about music videos and brands. They actually have supported many other causes like Love Yourself with UNICEF, and they continue to be a partner of that. We know BTS Connects, so they have something for charity, they have something for art. So they have shared all of this with us. And so they connect with us on different levels. It's not always about music, but also about other things that they are engaged in. So in terms of a relationship, it's not just if you're in a relationship with a guy or a boy, with a guy or a girl, it's not just about one thing. It's not just about sharing one thing. They share with us multiple things. And so that's how you strengthen a relationship. BTS also created a self sustaining ecosystem, meaning we're contributing to that ecosystem or to that platform without them prompting us to do so. In Weverse, we post there, we communicate with them, we talk with their management company, we buy things from them. So the ecosystem is there and we help in making that grow. Okay. Um, okay, so this is a live stream. As we know in Weverse, it's not just about selling. They do a lot of live stream. They're also kings of live stream, but they also allow, and this a lot of content creators don't say. Big Hit was actually the pioneer of being very loose when it comes to allowing content creators to use the music and materials of BTS. If you are a content creator and you use anything by a YG artist, the minute it hits like 2 seconds, they will copyright you and they will take all of your income. For Hive, they actually allow you some grace. So I am able to use a part of the song for longer and I still keep the earnings. So for as long as I'm not using half of the song or something, they will allow me to keep the earnings. And so if I'm a content creator, I am more motivated to actually use their songs, use their materials. And then they have materials that they don't even copyright at all. Many of the things that they publish on Weavers, if you put it on YouTube, they won't copyright you. So they are the most friendly to content creators, which I think other management companies are missing on. If they will just allow more content creators to use their content more loosely. I'm not even asking for like half the song, allow me to use half the song and still keep the payment, but at least make it like, I don't know, 10 seconds, at least not that fast. Like if I'm trying to react to your video or if I'm doing a review, I need to use longer snippets of your song or music videos in order to prove my point. Big Hit was very wise in allowing many content creators to actually use the content of BTS and other groups under them for longer periods of time in their content. And I don't think there is any other group that can match the amount of songs that they've written for their fandom. As we know, I think how many, if I loosely, if we talk about it loosely, we can say that majority of their the songs that they've written, it's actually for the fandom. But if you talk like in terms of the music or whatever, the lyrics, the message, they've probably, it's no less than 30 songs. They've written so many for armies that you can kind of feel, okay, it's not just like a one-off. You're not doing it just because you have to try and make it appear as if you really appreciate me. Like if you're able to write those many songs for armies, then you know that they really feel it, not just because they want to write it for the sake of making us feel as if we are special. And then there are the letters. Almost every special occasion, they would write letters to armies. Actually, when they went inside the military, quite honestly, I did not expect that they will continue to write us letters. Because I was like, you're in the military, you're busy, you're probably irritated because you don't want to be there, but they still continue to do it. Um, yeah. So this is the summary. Fans versus a community. When it's a fan base, it's just the main focus is actually artists and their music. When it is a community, it's a shared identity and emotional connection, not just with the artist, but also within other members of the fandom. In terms of engagement, if it's a fan base, you're just supporting releases, streaming, and attending concerts. But in a community, there's actually discussion, charity work, ongoing projects, and projects that's even outside music. In terms of loyalty, if it's a fan base, most likely they're gonna leave the group after like 5 years, especially when they start getting into relationships, when there is a scandal, when they go to the military. But if it is a community, it's long term. We're supportive of their relationships. I hope we all are. And then in terms of connection, it's a star fan relationship. But if it is a community, it's almost peer to peer. It's like friends. And sustainability, if it's a fan base, it fades very, very easily, but a community thrives even when the artist is not there. Okay. So I do think that the concept of super fan is an outdated concept. So management companies or music labels in the West is using something that BTS has already thrown out the window, probably in the third or fourth year of their career. So again, they're lagging behind. They need to know that if they want this same kind of success for their artists, they need to build communities. That is the future of sustained and unprecedented success. Now, just want to mention that for Taylor Swift, she isn't doing all those extra content for her fan base. But if you watch her concert, you will actually kind of appreciate how she's trying to be inclusive. She would explain each of the song to her fan base. She would tell them the story behind it, the meaning behind it, if there is like a tidbit or a um, something special or something that the fans don't know about, she would tell them, and she would do that every song. So if you're a fan, you feel like you're a part of the story. That's why her fan base is so strong. She's not very good at creating extra content, but once she creates a content, she makes sure that everybody is included. Okay. Apple Bangpo, hello, I'm late. Jelma say reading comments and listening to you are both interesting and entertaining. That's the whole point. I want everybody to be able to interact. Um, Jelma said, "Sorry, Fairlane, the comment section splits my attention. It's okay." Bang Luna. Oh wait, Bang Luna said June writes the best, most poetic missives. He does. He does. He really is a writer by heart, and I still feel that he should write a book someday. Not like an autobiography, but like a book, either book of poetry or musings, or like a diary or fiction. I will volunteer to become the ghostwriter, or somebody that will develop like the body of his ideas. So Namjoon, if you're listening, I volunteer. I will not take any earnings. Okay. Celeste said, every time I turn around, I find another that feels like a love song to armies. Okay, I'm just going back. I'm not late on the chat. It's just that I'm looking for questions. What happens? What happens if Hobie goes live now? I think everybody is going to lose their shit. I will, if he goes to live now, I'll probably be watching it with you. Okay. I love when they step out of a live for a few minutes, but the chat keeps going. Actually, they have some of the funniest lives. Like they sleep, they nap, they're like, oh wait a minute, I need to go out. It's like, we're looking at an empty chair, watching an empty chair for 3 minutes straight. The Bi Explorer said, cold meds got me. I'm just listening while curled up in bed. I hope that you get better. I sent you KAG, I sent you an email on X, still waiting to hear from you. An email on X. Okay, I will check again. I thought I was caught up on my private messages. Bang Luna said June will write beautiful essays. I agree. I agree. I really, really hope that he writes a book. He authors a book, publishes a book. He'll probably go live as soon as I sleep. Okay. Um, J Hope taking us to the bathroom, Jimin putting us in his pocket. I think we've basically explored a lot of the parts of Hybe without actually being there. JK folds his laundry. Here. A lot of you said that. So there's Rachel, Leah. JK falling asleep. Yeah. So I think the moral lesson is that BTS is so ahead of his time, of their time, that a strategy that they've basically grown. I think they did start that way by just building a fandom, the same way every other boy group was actually doing it in a boy band was actually doing it in South Korea. I do my theory, I don't know them obviously, but my theory is that they also started that way. They tried to build a fandom, but then I think on the second, third year, I think they kind of realized that no, I mean, this is more than just fans for us. This is a community that they want to nurture. And that's where they actually went. That's the direction they went into. And a lot of the music labels in the US actually lack that. I don't want to be too poetic about it, but they kind of lack the soul behind the strategy. Like there is no intention, there is no explanation as to why BTS was actually doing it. Like this isn't just, you're not going to develop, you might develop a super fan with your fashion, with your cool music videos and your edited um, live stream, but you're not going to build a community by just that. If you want to build a community, you need to share something deeper with your audience, which a lot of music labels are actually missing. um I'd love to have one of Tess paintings. Okay. Should we go? Do you have any questions? Should we go into our next topic? So before let me do a preamble to this next topic. So I'm not going to name any specific, this is about shippers. I'm not going to name any specific shipping group. They're all bad. And it's not just one shipping group, like any kind of toxic shippers. I don't interact with them. I don't mess with them. Now, there are a lot of people who would say like, oh, oh, they'll be cute together. I think that's fine. Like, even I do that to my friends. I say, oh, my friend and this person will be good together. I don't I don't meddle with their love life, so I don't insist on it. So for as long as you think they're cute, okay. But the minute you wage war on other people because they say something that doesn't agree with your narrative, then that becomes very, very dangerous. In fact, when was that? I think it was BT21 Japan made the mistake. I think they swapped two members. Um, Jimin and Jungkook's characters, they swapped. So I think Jimin's character was in Jungkook's box, and then Jungkook's character was in Jimin's box. And they just got bombarded and threatened by so many fans who don't like that ship. And I just felt it was so unhappy. It's like it's a plushie. Give me a break. It's a plushie. It's a non-living entity that BTS just created because they're cute and they're fun. And now you're waging war against people who honestly was just, I felt it was just an honest mistake on their end. So anyway, honest mistake and get over it. Yeah, exactly. So it was Celeste who actually said that. And Namhar said, narrative, more like fantasy. Some shippers are delulu. So, and I'm not talking about one specific shipper. There's a lot more other shippers who wanted Jimin with somebody else or who wanted Jungkook with somebody else who were attacking this group. So, no, not one specific group. Um, Now, I made this really crazy thing of enrolling for a second degree. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. So I wanted to study psychology. And so I started the course. I had to stop, but I did start it. But it was interesting that one of the things that I studied actually touched on this. Okay. Celeste said it's like a mass delusion in some ways. It's actually exactly that. They call it, where is that? Oh, before I get into controversy. This is one thing I haven't learned yet, how to operate this without you seeing it, because I know it can be done. Okay. All right. So they actually call it, so it's not just, and also this theory, the psychological and sociological theory, is not just about fandoms and shippers. It can also be it can also be about like uh just people who have the tendency to create cults. They have this ability to make people follow them. Okay, so it's not just about shippers. So they call this the shared psychotic disorder. If you are um Jimin's penguin here is right beside me. So if you are a psych student or a psych major, or if you are a psychologist or a psychiatrist, please feel free to contribute. So they call this the shared psychotic disorder. I don't know how to pronounce the French word for it, but there's actually several types of it. But the most common is the madness of two and the madness of many. So it's actually subdivided into two different disorders, but it is a psychological disorder. Um, the images are AI generated; they're not real people. I chose to do it this way because I don't want to to identify anybody as delusional or someone with this mental disorder. So it's actually a rare psychiatric phenomenon where delusions are transferred from one individual to another or spread among groups. So this is actually how cults happen. They have this. So how the shared psychotic behavior develops? It's called SPD. That is the acronym, and typically it involves one dominant person. So there is a leader, the one that starts this idea, and then you have the followers or the secondary. So the previous one is the primary, and then the followers, they call that the secondary. So the secondary is the one who is gullible and vulnerable. They adopt to any kind of belief that they think will bond them or will make them stronger. Okay. Usually they're very, very insecure, like a cult, exactly. So, how the behavior develops it, if you are isolated from the world, you have the tendency to have, if you don't have strong relationships, I don't want you to take it the wrong way. If you are a, if you are a, an introvert, it doesn't mean that you are susceptible to becoming a secondary. It is if you don't have strong relationships with anybody. When you are isolated from external reality, that's when you become susceptible to becoming a secondary. If another way is if you are psychologically vulnerable. So the followers may have low self-esteem, they have anxiety or a need to belong, making them more susceptible. So again, it goes back into relationships. People with not a lot of strong relationships with other people, it can be family or friends, or you're not pursuing any kind of passion, or you're not doing anything productive in your life, you become more susceptible to becoming a secondary. So you're the follower. So, a lot of groups are actually followers. How the behavior, I'm talking about like Korean groups, like musical groups, how the behavior develops. So, how does it grow? So that part, the first part is who are more susceptible to becoming a secondary. But how does it grow? How does it develop? The reinforcement through group dynamics. So the more delusion is repeated within the group, the more real it feels to everyone involved. And so this is when you get more of the same, right? So on social media, when the platform or the algorithm realize that you like this ship, you like Jane Smith and and John Smith together. That's what you like. So if the algorithm knows that that's what you like, the algorithm will feed you more of the same. And so the tendency is for you to build a community who share the same belief. And since you share the same belief, among you, you'll just keep on repeating the theory. And the more it is repeated, the more real it becomes. Okay. So, for you to not be susceptible to this, make sure that you consciously search for the other side of the information. Examples of shared psychotic behavior. This next two slides are going to be a little heavy. If you don't want, um, it involves some people getting unalived. So if you don't want to hear it, I suggest mute me for the next 5 minutes. Okay. I'm waiting just so I can give people a chance to mute me. Or maybe turn away from the screen for about a minute or two, because it is heavy. So if it's going to trigger you, please move away from the screen or mute me for the next 5 minutes. Okay. I'm just waiting just to give people the opportunity to actually mute me and move away from the screen or end the stream if it's really going to trigger them. Okay. All right. Now, examples of shared psychotic behavior. So, one last disclaimer. The next two slides are going to be heavy. It I am going to mention a group unaliving somebody else. Disclaimer. So, if you don't want to hear it, if it's going to trigger you, please stop and please mute me or turn away from the screen. Okay. So, examples of a shared behavior. There are two young women, young girls in Wisconsin who actually unalive their friend because the both of them believe that the slender man is real and they wanted to make the slender man happy, and so they attacked their friend and their friend didn't make it. Okay. So they were minors when this thing happened. So it's Anissa and Morgan. This happened 10 years ago and they are up for parole, I think. All right. So you remember that case? Okay, so the Slender Man is this guy that became so popular in a website. This is not real. This is a made up character, obviously. Look at that. So it's a made up character, but to these two girls, this character became so real and they wanted to do what they think this character will want them to do. And so they unalive their friend for a character that's not even real and it's not even mainstream. Like this is just in one website. Creepypasta. There you go. That's the website where it became very popular, the creepypasta. Okay. So, um, By Explorer said, Ted said to get out of their delusion, it's not healthy there. Lara said, I saw the docu about the Slender Man. The friend was sort of a sacrifice, yes, up for parole because they were teens when it happened. Yes, so they were teens. Let me pull up some more information here. Okay. So yeah, so they believe that they are going to make the Slender Man happy if they unalive their friends. So that's what they did. And yes, they are up for parole. I think they were like 13 when that happened. Okay, so obviously that's so dark, right? But it can also be not so dark, but still bad, like the shared psychotic behavior in online fandoms. So in shipping, many of these people believe in the secret evidence theories. So you will hear a lot of people saying, oh, they want what our ship wants. Like for example, Jane Smith, they want what let's say they want what David and Ken have. They want it for their ship, but their ship is not real, mine is real. You will also hear things like it's not a secret, it's private. This is my favorite. I'm like, that is so good. Like that is such a good one liner. It's not a secret, it's private. Oh, they can't hide it. Like they will edit clips of the two and they will just frame it as if it's something malicious or something like that. They also believe in hidden messages or paranoia. Usually they blame the agency, saying that the agency is trying to stop their ship because it's not their favorite, or they want the one of the two to be paired with somebody else or something. So they insist that the agency is actually hiding the truth, that it is the agency forcing and pressuring one of the two to not admit to the relationship. So why do people fall into the shared delusions? There are two types of reasons: psychological and sociological reasons. So the psychological one is what I studied when I wanted to take my second degree, which I probably will still continue at some point. I'm going to continue that. Okay, so there is cognitive dissonance. When faced with contradictory evidence, they reject reality rather than admitting that they are wrong. So, for example, a lot of armies are actually making an effort to explain that the video that they saw is wrongly and maliciously edited. Like they will show this is the whole video, and you cut like 0.05 seconds of it and slowed it down 100 times to make it appear as if they are about to kiss, something like that. Um, Mandy J, Fair Lane, you just said the Tekok motto, private but not secret. I did not know that that came from them. Okay, so I just hear it a lot. I just hear it a lot on X. Okay, so instead of actually admitting that, the tendency is for them to further reject it. The other thing is social identity. A lot of people simply feel that they belong to this community, so they don't want to change their point of view in the uh because they're afraid of risking of losing that community. And of course, emotional projection. It's actually what they want, but because they can't have it, then they just insist that the person that they like is the one who has it. Okay, so they project their emotional frustration on the favorite on that idol. Okay, the other is sociological. The other is a sociological reason. It's a set of reasons. All of it are sociological. Groupthink is one of the things that come into mind. It's a little different from bandwagon, but it is connected. When people only interact with those who agree with them, they reinforce each other's belief. So in a bandwagon, someone starts something and everyone joins in. In a group think, your tendency is to go and pursue groups that will agree with what you think in. So that's what they call group think. And sometimes because you're so invested in that group, even if you already know you're doing something wrong, you don't want to stop because you're going to lose that group. Then there's that is connected to this, the fear of social rejection, because you feel like if you shift, you're going to lose that community. And then there's the ever present internet echo chamber. Social media platforms amplify misinformation and create environments where only one perspective is validated. So that's why I keep on saying if there is an issue, actively search for both sides from two different opposing sources. So, for example, and this is just an example, you're searching for whether or not eggs are bad, right? Because we hear a lot that eggs are actually not healthy. Okay, so there will be two sides to it, those people that will say eggs are bad and those people that will say eggs are good. So look for those two people. Don't count on the person who's saying that eggs are good to give you the point of view of why it is also bad. Make sure that you get the perspective of two health professionals and those who've actually gone through the experience, so that you know you have a balanced opinion. um and by the way, like I do fasting. I do 16/8, and someone sent me a study on why fasting can actually kill you. And guess who sponsored the study? Guess who sponsored it? You can guess who sponsored that study. Morning cereals. Because I think a lot of them are realizing, okay, we're losing our customers. We're gonna have to scare them so that they stop doing fasting. Okay. Um, McDonald's and no cereals. So if you try to stop these people, the tendency of a lot of us, because we don't have the time to waste, we don't have any more F's to give. We're busy with our lives, surviving, raising families, going to work, other things. So our tendency is to actually just ignore them. But the truth is that if you ignore them, it's not going to make them stop. It's just going to stop you from hearing them. But they themselves won't stop. In fact, many of them will probably double down on their belief. Um, I've been trying to explain reality to people. And others will lose interest over time. If you just leave them be, they are going to most likely lose interest over time. And some, however, will become more aggressive. So if you don't pay attention to them, people are going to relentlessly attack you even more because what they want is a reaction from you. Report and move on. And then there are those who will develop further bad theories, will further miscontextualize information to continue feeding into their own reality. And in rare cases, they can actually become more dangerous. So, and this is not just on, I'm not just talking about like dangerous physically. Some of them, they will become more dangerous verbally or online, or they will become more dangerous to themselves. So, because I guess I am more visible, like a lot of these shippers, they continue to I don't respond anymore. I don't have time. Like I would rather, if I have time to respond to anybody online, to any message online, I would rather respond to people that need help or are actually giving me valuable information or asking questions that I know I can answer, or just people that are sending positive messages, right? I would rather spend my time on those people, on you, rather than them. But many of them continue and relentlessly send me messages. Like if you hear many of the messages that they, if you read a lot of the messages that they send me, it's like, are you, I can't believe you're talking to some, like this is not, I can't believe that you have the capability to even think about these things, let alone actually communicate it. Like the things that they say, I wouldn't even say to the worst of my enemy. And so it's just this, it doesn't, some of them will stop, but many of them will actually continue. So I think the goal, because you're not going to make them stop anyway. And at the end of the day, you can only take care of yourself. So just ignore, report, mute, block. KG said, I send a lot of video to Hybe. That is good. Didn't V and JK just win in court against someone? Yes. So they won. Uh, they won. What's that? Let me pull up the case here. I think they got paid like here. Ah, wait. See, I'm still not used to this. So I'm still feeling my way around it. Okay. So 76 million won payment to V and Jungkook from from the YouTuber. So the thing is that this girl has vowed to not stop. Oh, sorry. Do you see it? No, you don't. Are you seeing it on my screen? No. There. So the this girl who refuses to show her face, um, and I advise her. I mean, I think she shouldn't. Otherwise, she's gonna get clubbered. So she vowed to not stop. She isn't regretting anything that she has done, and she insists that She has the right to say the things that she has said, and will continue to say them because it's her right to state her opinion. Celeste is saying goodbye. Goodbye, Celeste. Thank you. Still not visible. I thought it was visible earlier. Okay. Let's see. Maybe here. Oh, no. Add. Okay. Screen share. I'm still getting used to it. Now, is it visible? The article? No? Maybe if I do that, I don't know. I will get used to this. I promise you someday. Dispatch, Dispatch need to release her photo. I think they're trying to take a photo of her, but she's very good at avoiding photographers. And yeah, I think she's just good at really avoiding photographers. I don't know how to share it. I was able to share it earlier. I was able to share maybe here. Maybe here. Maybe I can change this. Just me. I will figure it out next time. I don't know how to share it. Screen. There. You see it, right? Okay, I finally got it. I don't know what I did, but I got it. So, yeah, I think she is trying to. I think Dispatch is definitely trying to get a photo of her, but she's really good at nudging the photographers, at like avoiding the photographers. So, Bora Winkle said, sometimes I think the ship wars benefit the company in some way because instead of doing something to stop it, they let the shippers create their own narratives that turn into view and engagement. Um, so someone actually said that, like, to stop all of this, why will the agency not simply not address it and say, stop it? They're not in a relationship. Stop all of those delusions. And I think the answer to that goes back into their own behavior, the cognitive dissonance. If you address it, you're making them realize that you see them and that they are impactful enough to warrant a response. That is why when they bombard companies or other accounts, uh, they consider it a victory if the other account does not respond. So, regardless, because they consider it a victory if the other account responds, regardless of what the response is. And I've actually seen this firsthand. I've seen someone, oh, they are seeing us, continue doing it, like continue doing it, continue getting in touch with them because they're seeing us. They're hearing us to continue doing it. So you're, in other words, going to validate them. Remember, these people are not normal. They're not thinking normally. And so to us, even to us, we know that that is not healthy and that is not the intention of the company, but to them, they're going to interpret that differently. So why justify their existence by acknowledging it when you can just ignore them? If you respond again, you're just going to validate their existence. You're making them realize that they are powerful and big enough to warrant a response. Just think about it this way. if if a worm gives you an opinion on how you're living your life, are you going to respond to that worm? It's a single cell life form, right? So I respond to that like, you do not matter to me, you're a worm. I have absolutely no, you have no credence in my life. And so that is the same thing with acknowledging these people. You're simply going to you're simply going to validate their existence. Shippers, yeah. So Eva said shippers love to get the attention. Jessica said the YouTuber that Tae and Jungkook just just sued celebrated that Tae saw her defamatory YouTube videos. See, exactly that. Like to her, even though she's being asked to pay, for her it's a victory. Oh, because they're gonna think, so you saw my video, right? So you saw my video, so that means I'm valid, like I'm popular, I matter because you're actually watching my video. Some I hate. I some Here Melanie said some I hate those. Sometimes I hate those toxic shippers too. They start to call out members in animal names now. They've been doing that for a while. Um, so they've been doing that for a while. Hello. They've been doing that for a while now. I've seen them call the members, other members, like all types of vile names. And I know that a lot of people will think that they are just directing their hate to one other member. No, it's that one other member is usually the receiver of their hate, but they also hate on other members. And also I'm talking about all other shippers, not just the shipper of this two, all other shippers. Animal names. Yep. They call them animal names. Yes. I don't want to repeat them because it's not um just like, just I don't want to validate their delusions. But yes, they do call them animal names. It's again, most commonly is that one member of the group, but it's not the only member that they direct their hate to. The others get hate as well. And again, it's not just that shipper, it's all the other shippers of all the other ships. And it's not just BTS, even others as well. Okay, that's disgusting. It is disgusting. Elizabeth said it's the only thing she hangs on to. Of course, she's gonna flaunt about it to deflect her bad actions. Yeah. She's gonna, and I don't think it's I don't think it's just because she's hanging on to it. I think she honestly thinks it's a validation in her mind. Remember, for you to do something like this, you must be not in the right mind, right? No normal person will do this. So for you to do this, there's something wrong with the way things are wired inside your head. So yeah. So definitely I do think um I think it's not just because she's looking for a way to sort of validate what she's doing. It's just that I think for her it's really a validation of what she's doing. She thinks that, oh, you're seeing what I'm creating, so it means I'm validated, like I'm popular, I have an impact, and that I matter. Okay, before we're closing into, we're a minute and 52, sorry, not a minute, an hour and 52 seconds. Just want to get into something because there are I got some questions about certain things that are brewing. I told you before that there are going to be some controversies whenever a BTS member starts any kind of major project. There will be controversies, and it's starting. They're starting it. So, just like validating and acknowledging the shippers, I don't want to validate and acknowledge issues that are not important, that don't matter, right? So, I just want to share with you how I look at things when it comes to BTS and Big Hit and their staff members. Regardless of how tightly a BTS member or BTS works with any member of their group, whatever their staff, whatever that staff is doing in their private time is their own issue. That is their life, and BTS has nothing to do with it. And I'm gonna guess that it's the same the other way. BTS, that staff member has nothing to do with what BTS members are doing in their private time. Now, if that staff member, no matter how prominent their presence is, his presence his presence in BTS's life is, uh, their relationships, if they have any kind of relationship, unless it's like a crime that they co-committed, they have nothing to do with that as well. That is their private life, and I would rather respect that. That like they have their own issue. That's their own issue and that's their own problem. So I don't think it warrants any kind of discussion. And I think if we discuss it, we're just going to feed into what these people, the haters, actually want to happen, and that is for us to get distracted. So, um, you know, Bang Shiyuk, if he's dating anybody, then go ahead and date. Like, I don't think his choice of a girl or woman has anything to do with BTS. If he is dating three, four, five women at the same time, for as long as they are all consenting adults, I don't care. And that same thing is true with the rest of the BTS of Big Hit staff. Whatever they do in their personal life is their business. So it is a non-issue. Um, so that's my take on that. Okay. All right. Next, they are making an issue out of the remaining tickets in J Hope's concert. So remember that California was the last state to release its tickets because of the fire, in consideration of what was happening in California. And I don't think people actually know how bad things are in California in terms of the people that have gotten affected by the fire. Um, so first, all the extra tickets. Remember that Touring Data already released a statement stating all tickets in New York was sold for J-Hope's tour, and that is the case for most other venues. Later on, they stated that because of the demand, and my theory is that J-Hope can't do any more stops because of his future schedule with BTS members, they chose to release extra tickets but with limited viewing. So if you look at these tickets, it's actually like $60, 90, less than 100, because you're not going to see much from this. Uh, J Hope actually already maximized the venue. He sold as many seats as he could with the seats that will actually see the entirety of him, even before the extra tickets were released. And so all of this are extra tickets released with limited viewing. So every venue except for California was they were every venue was already sold out until they released the limited view seating, and that is why it is very very cheap. So just to clarify, that's what happened. Now, they released California much later on. It was after the fire. People, the fire is no joke. I have an office mate who's still living in a hotel. Like they've been there 3 weeks because they can't find an apartment, they can't find a rental because it's just crowded. All apartments are taken, hotels are taken. So they have no choice but to actually stay. That entire family staying in like one or two different rooms in California. And I think people are underestimating how bad things are for them. But they are everything else outside of California, they were already sold out. Okay. Now, the other thing is what I don't understand. So that's how bad the fires were. Look at that. That's Malibu. Malibu. Okay. If you drive down Malibu, it's like nothing. You will not see anything. That's how bad things are. Now, I'm not gonna name names, but the way they're talking, remember, if you look at the way, if you look at the volume, if you look at the seating arrangement in BMO, he really sold it to the edge, even BMO. Like it was the most number of tickets that he could sold without the limited view sitting. So it wasn't like a lot of acts would actually they will turn a stadium into an arena because they're just going to block so many seats just in or just to claim that they sold out their venue. And then the other thing is that there are so many acts right now that are doing their tour and they're doing it in a much smaller venue and can't even sell out. And you're pestering J-Hope with 300 tickets. That's like, no. Like 300 tickets remaining. And you're thinking that's like a that's a that's that's a sign that he failed. No, 300 tickets, that's not a failure. So just making it very clear that by no this is one of the biggest tours of any Korean solo act, probably the biggest. I'm not well, I guess we need to wait for the number in terms of the number of seats sold, but probably one of the biggest for a solo act, from Korea. We cannot even drive down PCH. Jessica is saying we can't even drive down PCH right now to Malibu about the tickets. I saw TM even held rows of ticket for general sale. They will sell, no worries. Mandy said, I saw a video of JT in Mexico and it was empty. Angel Star said, leave Hobie alone. In LA, our hotels are full of residents needing housing, and last week we just had flooding in the fire zones. Yes, so there's just like hotels are now occupied by many of the ones that lost their homes, and they can't find rentals because everything is just occupied. It's horrible, and so you have to remember that a lot of these people lost everything. A lot of these people lost everything, even their clothes. So it's not it's not a joke. So a lot of people are getting held back because of that. Okay. So Sylvia is asking, are they saying that because it's not sold out in LA, he's a flop? Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying. But if you look at the venue, it's like 300 tickets. It's gonna sell, and just like what Jessica said, it's gonna sell out. You know, they especially now that they actually stop premium pricing the, so it's gonna sell out. So I'm not worried about that. But for us, I just want to know. I just want us to realize where we are with it. It's He did not cut BMO into half, which a lot of other acts did. They blocked off so many seats. It might as well have been a theater with the amount of seats that they actually blocked. J-Hope didn't. And it's really just the premium. If you look at it, it's really just those that they blocked for premium pricing. Those are the ones that aren't selling. But now they remove premium pricing. I'm sure it's going to sell out. Elizabeth said that, and even after the fact, what bothers me more is that they are ignoring completely the situation in LA. It grows that they're using it. It is gross that it is used that they are using it, that opportunity to mock someone they don't like. I don't even, what's BMO? BMO is the name of the venue. I don't even wanna, like, if someone is talking about like, oh, this person is not doing that, this person is not doing that, and it's from both sides, I don't even pay attention to it, because for me, my only hope is that these people need to be able to find a rental. They can't stay in a hotel. It's not how you live. You don't stay in a hotel for years. That's one. Second is they actually are able to get the money to start rebuilding their houses. But the thing is that a lot of them can't even still go back to their place. They're still not being allowed. So I don't care who's not doing what. I just care that they start doing the things that they're supposed to do so that people can go back to their houses, rebuild, and start living their lives normally again. Um, so what's BIMO? It used to be, I think they used to call it just Bank of America or something. And then for some reason they changed it to BIMO. Fire Butterfly, thank you. And Fire Butterfly said, thank you for all your hard work and for sharing your interests with us. We are lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have you. It's me. The luck is mine for sure. The scale heavily tilts towards my favor. People are so full of envy. It's sad. It is. Yeah. It's just, and like greed. Namhar said, "You are right. I definitely don't care. I don't know how bad it is down there. Very, very sad. It is, yeah. I mean, I think it's just for me because I know someone directly that's getting affected severely. So it's like harder for me because this person is very, very close to me. I care for this person a lot. And I see how hard it is for him and his family to still be staying in a hotel. I mean, it's just not how you live, right? What do you have in a hotel, right? And this is not the hotel that they prefer even, like this is the hotel that was available, and so that was what was given to them. So um as much as I want to watch Hobie's concert, money I saved intended to use for BTS concert so I can get a seat. That is a wise decision, really. A lot of people don't have the funds, so if you really want to see the seven of them together, yeah, definitely you just need to save. Fire Butterfly, how is the rebuilding planning going? Not going at all. Well, at least it's not fast. So I'm not on the ground, so I don't know exactly what was happening. I only know the perspective of those who lost their homes. And if you are the one of those who lost your home, it's really hard to understand why you're still not allowed to go back to your place, while why you're still not being given a place to live temporarily. It's not like by now, yeah, they were given reasons like, oh, there's still toxic air or whatever, but there are some people that are saying, by now it should be good and whatever. A- and and again, I don't know what's happening on the ground. I'm only seeing the perspective of those that are the victims, those who lost their homes. And for them, of course, they just want to go back. They want to clear everything so they can start rebuilding. T Style, thank you. He has no message though. Thank you. Namhar said, so more tickets on sale now. I think about a little less than 300 tickets for LA. Mandy say it's the same. If it's the same as BMO in Canada, it's Bank of Montreal. Maybe. Let's see. It's just BMO. That's what it says. BMO Stadium. It's a Bank of California Stadium. That's what it is. Okay. Any other questions? Sorry, I need to leave. Bye, Apo Bangpo. Bye, Fairlane. Bye. Bye, Apo Bangpo. I'm reading what he said, which is bye, Fairlane. Okay. I have to work hard to go see Hobie in LA. I'll work even harder to see the seven normal boys from Korea. I hope to see you there. Okay. Uh, oh, here. Me Too said BMO Harry's means Bank of Montreal. Here it just says it's supposed to be Bank of California. For some reason, they changed to BMO. And people just call it BMO. Tomorrow will be our ticket sale for Manila. Good luck, Philo Army. Oh, good luck. I hope you get tickets. We have an account at BMO and you can do banking in English or French. Okay. Oh, TLT said Bank of Montreal bought the naming rights in 2023. Okay, so we are past 2 minutes. not 2 minutes, 2 hours. I have several more topics which I will start covering next week, and I am going to get a better hold of this platform that I'm using. But I hope that there's other things that I can actually do. Like, for example, I tested this like uh, the other day. Like, for example, I can do here. It's so cool. Where is that? Cool, right? um, I can also do something like that. If I want to like show quotes. Okay, so you can email me just in case Asian AC. And also I'm starting to, oh wait, I'm starting to actually we are starting to fix our website, entertainment and culture. Okay, we're starting to fix the website. I think I've mentioned to you before that I found the right assistant. So we're starting to fix the website. Um, the blog page is starting to get arranged, and we're starting to upload content. I also did my first interview this morning, and I have another I have like 4 more interviews to do this week. So I'm starting to interview experts, those that are actually doing the work of, like, directors and writers and lawyers and whatever. So I one of my like the one that I'm really looking forward to is an entertainment lawyer. So if you have any questions about if anything that you're curious about when it comes to copyright, trademarks, how they earn, maybe contracts of BTS and how they are being honored in the US, just let me know. You can, yes, Leah, it's like Fairlane. Do you not see me? Um, so if you have any questions, you can leave them in Patreon, and then I'll ask that. I will try to do a live stream from the studio where I will do the interview. So my plan is to actually like devote one day a month where I will just interview people in person if possible. And then so that's like it's more like getting the information from the actual source instead of just me summarizing everything. So that's my favorite, like the one that I'm really looking forward to. Was supposed to do him at the end of the week, like interview him at the end of the week, but he had to schedule next week. That is fine. And then I will also be interviewing somebody. It's this very interesting. But so like she advocates for non-monogamy, ethical non-monogamy, and she's from China. So that's like I was interested because that's such a cultural, and she's a woman, because like it's such a cultural difference, like a contradiction culturally. So okay, and then the one that I interviewed this morning was more into producing, like how to get a film or a TV show funded and how it works and stuff like that. Is there, Sylvian NYC, is there a thread for questions to ask the lawyer? I'll create one. That's a good idea. Thank you. So I'll create one so Sylvia is the one who asked. Is there a thread for questions to ask the lawyer? I will create one in Patreon so you can just put the questions that you want to ask. Okay, thank you. Good night, JJ. So those are the things to look forward to. I'm very, very excited. Things are finally moving. Once things are running, I can devote more of my time into the novel and finally finish it. It's progressing. It's just really, really slow. Okay, thank you so much. Good night, and I hope to see you Wednesday. Bye.